Hello everyone, welcome back to our English Learning Podcast. We are very happy that you are listening to us today. This podcast is specially made for beginners who want to speak English confidently in real-life situations.
Hi everyone, I'm Lena. Thank you so much for joining us today. Many English learners understand basic English, but they feel nervous when they need to speak with strangers.
Yes, Lena, that is very true. Talking to a stranger can feel scary because you don't know what to say.
Exactly, but don't worry at all. Today's lesson will help you speak politely, confidently, and naturally.
Our topic today is how to talk to a stranger in English for beginners.
We will use easy words, simple sentences, and real-life examples so you can practice step by step.
Lena, many beginners feel nervous when they talk to a stranger. Why does this happen?
That's a great question, Paul. Talking to strangers feels difficult because beginners are afraid of making mistakes. They think, what if my English is wrong? What if the stranger doesn't understand me? What if I feel embarrassed? This fear makes people silent, even when they want to speak.
Yes, and some people believe they need perfect English.
But that is not true at all. Strangers don't expect perfect grammar. They only want simple and polite communication. Even basic English is enough if you speak kindly and clearly.
Exactly. The most important thing is to start with confidence. So Lena, what is the first step when talking to a stranger in English? Many beginners feel nervous because they don't know how to begin. What should they say first?
That's a very important question, Paul, because the first step is always the hardest step. The first thing you should always do when talking to a stranger is to start with a polite greeting. A greeting is small, but it is very powerful because it opens the conversation in a friendly way. For beginners, greetings are the easiest sentences to use because they are short, common, and safe. For example, you can say, hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. These greetings are very polite, and they work in almost every situation. If you want to sound even more respectful, especially with someone older or unknown, you can start with, excuse me, this is one of the best words for beginners because it sounds kind and polite. For example, you can say, excuse me, can I ask you something? Excuse me, could you help me please? Excuse me, sorry to bother you. These sentences show respect, and strangers usually respond positively.
Yes, Lena, that's true. I think excuse me is a great way to start because it feels polite and not rude.
Exactly, Paul. Also, beginners should remember something very important. When you talk to a stranger, your smile and body language also matter. Even if your English is simple, a friendly smile makes the conversation comfortable. You don't need perfect English. Even saying, hello, how are you, is enough to begin.
That's right. Sometimes beginners think they need a long sentence, but actually a short greeting is perfect.
Yes, Paul. The goal is not to impress someone. The goal is simply to start speaking. Once you say hi or excuse me, you already took the first step, and that builds confidence.
After greeting, what should beginners say next? Many learners greet someone, but then they don't know how to continue.
Yes, Paul, that happens a lot. After greeting, the next step is asking a simple and safe question. Safe questions are very important because when you talk to a stranger, you should not ask anything too personal or uncomfortable. Instead, you should ask questions that are common in daily life. For example, beginners can ask, can you help me? Do you know where this place is? What time is it? Is this seat free? Can you tell me the way? These questions are polite, useful, and very normal when speaking to strangers. Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine you are in a new city and you want to find the bus stop. You can say, excuse me, where is the nearest bus stop? This sentence is perfect because it is clear, polite, and simple. Or if you are in a shopping mall and looking for a store, you can ask, excuse me, where is the food court? Excuse me, do you know where the washroom is?
Yes, and these are very practical sentences for beginners.
Exactly. And Paul, beginners should also remember something very important. You don't need to speak fast. Speak slowly and clearly. Strangers will understand you better when you speak calmly. Also, always add polite words like, please, thank you, sorry. For example, excuse me, can you help me please? Thank you so much for your help.
That's a great point. Politeness makes your English sound much better, even if it is basic.
Yes, Paul. And beginners should not ask too many questions at one time. Don't say, Where are you from? What do you do? What is your name? That feels like an interview. Instead, ask one question, listen carefully, and then respond politely. That is how conversations stay natural.
Lena, do we need to introduce ourselves when talking to strangers?
That's a very good question, Paul. The answer is sometimes yes, sometimes no. If you are only asking for directions or time, you don't need to introduce yourself. But if you want a longer or friendly conversation, then introducing yourself is a great idea. A simple introduction makes you sound polite and confident. Beginners can say, "Hi, my name is Rahul." "Hello, I'm Sana." "My name is Alex." "Nice to meet you." These sentences are short and very common. You can also add one extra sentence to explain your situation. For example, "I'm new here. I just moved to this city. I'm visiting for the first time. I'm a student here." So a full introduction could be, "Hi, my name is Alex. I'm new in this city. Can you help me?" This sounds very natural and friendly.
Yes, and it also helps the stranger understand why you are asking.
Exactly. And Paul, beginners should remember, you don't need to share too much information. Just one or two sentences are enough. Don't worry about making it long. For example, you don't need to say, "My name is Rahul. I am 22 years old. I live in Delhi. I study engineering." No, keep it simple. Just say, "Hi, I'm Rahul. I'm new here." That is perfect.
That's great advice. Simple introductions help beginners feel confident and start conversations easily.
Yes, and when you introduce yourself politely, strangers often become more friendly and helpful.
So Lena, how can beginners continue the conversation after asking something?
That's an important point, Paul. After the stranger answers, you can respond politely. For example, you can say, "Oh, thank you. That's very helpful. I understand. Thanks a lot." If the stranger is friendly, you can add one more sentence like, "Are you from this city? It's my first time here." This helps the conversation continue naturally.
Yes, and beginners should remember, a conversation is not about speaking a lot. It's about speaking politely. Lena, confidence is very important when talking to strangers.
Absolutely. But confidence does not mean speaking loudly or being rude. Confidence means speaking calmly, smiling, using polite words, respecting the other person. Also, always watch the stranger's reaction. If they look busy or uncomfortable, it's okay to stop politely. You can say, "Sorry to bother you. Thank you for your time."
That's very respectful. Talking to strangers should always feel safe and polite. Now it's your turn to practice. Start with small conversations in daily life. For example, say hello to someone, ask for directions, ask a simple question politely.
Yes, and practice at home too. You can practice these sentences. "Excuse me, can you help me? Where is the nearest shop? Thank you so much." Speak slowly and don't worry about mistakes. Every time you speak, you become better.
Talking to strangers is a great skill, and it will help you improve your English quickly.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast today. We hope this lesson helped you feel more confident.
See you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing.